Alright, we moved to Game 3 of the tournament, and I'm facing a Lizardmen army that has a lot of the things that you fear in Lizardmen armies, but some things that are a little bit different. For instance, you don't see Cold One Riders very often. So he's got Cold Ones on the right, some Pterodons, Skinks in front of a Stegodon with a Skink Chief on it. Then there's an Ancient Stegodon, Engine of the Gods, Temple Guard with Slan. Now he took Lore of Beasts, which has some obvious benefits against Bretts, but personally I don't see why people don't take Lore of Metal. That's the only one I really fear. Anyway, he took Lore of Beasts. He's got Skinks and then Saurus Warriors with Spears, and then he got a couple Razordons. So again, I feel like my opponent doesn't, as with most of my opponents, they don't have nearly the number of units on the board as I do, which gives me some advantages. So I have my Fast Cav on the right to help redirect his cold ones. I got my General on the Hippogriff to try to take out his Stegodons. Knights Errant, Knights of the Realm with the Damsel, they're both over here to deal with the his cavalry and his Stegodons, and then go over and help out later with the infantry blocks. Skirmishing Bowmen in the woods, Damsel in the woods, my 2 blocks of infantry with my men-at-arms there, and my Reliquew to the left of them. Their job is to make sure the infantry comes towards this way and doesn't turn towards my knights. With the BSB behind him, I expect that Reliquew to hold. Got Questy Knights with the BSB to provide punch should I need it there, and to babysit those infantry units. And I got my Pegasus Knights to take care of the Razordons, and then just to, in general, be a nuisance. And of course, there's my Trebuchet. So we go to Lizardman turn 1. He moves up. Nothing real exciting happening there. During his magic, he kills a knight, but overall, he got really unlucky with his magic phase. So Brett turn 1, move my Fast Cav up to redirect his Cold Ones. Take my General, go ahead and charge the one Stegodon I can reach. It's not the Engine of the Gods, which is the one I would have preferred, but I was afraid I wouldn't be able to reach him because my General was lined up kind of on my right. The Fleeing Knights of the Realm unit, I found out later we misplayed that, and it kind of made a difference in points. Basically, they declared a charge on the Engine of the Gods and failed their terror test. Wait, I take that back. They declared a charge on the Skinks, who fled, and then I thought you measured it straightforward, and if you come to an enemy unit, then you can declare a new charge. And so when I was 1 inch away from the Stegodon, I declared a new charge, failed my terror test, and ran away. I was told later I should have ran away from where they started, not after I moved up. And had I done that, they probably would have been off the board. So I feel awful about that in hindsight. But that's the way we played it. That's totally my fault. Anyway, my infantry moves up just a little bit. Pegasus Knights survive a stand and shoot with the Razordons, and taking only 1 wound, and I'm in combat in the upper left-hand corner there. My Bowmen help pick out this Pterodon unit a little bit. My General fails to kill the Stegodon. I think my Hippogriff actually went after the Skink Chief on top because I didn't think I could wound it, and couldn't even get him. So that was unfortunate. There's 2 wounds, I believe, on my Hippogriff. On this side, I end up losing Pegasus Knight, but I take out the Razordon unit. So I was very, very, very happy with how that turned out. So on his turn, he angles his Skink so he can shoot at my Pegasus Knights, at least with some of them. We keep fighting there. If you look at the lower right, his Cold Ones charge my Fast Cav who fled, and he landed his Pterodons in front of my Knights Errant. I'm really not sure why he did that. Otherwise, nothing happened on his turn. And again, he's got a lot of points in a magic-heavy Slan, and nothing's happening to me because of it. So I feel bad for him. Magic, his dice are just failing him miserably. So anyway, on my turn, my Knights Errant charge the Pterodons. I'm going to easily beat him and overrun into the Fast Cat to his Cold Ones. My Knights of the Realm rally. Otherwise, let's see, my Pegasus Knights charge the Skinks. They flee and I chase them down. So he's going to charge me and I'm just going to flee. I move my infantry up again. I'm just trying to make sure his infantry comes this way. I love that he turned his spearmen out away from my knights. That made me very happy. I brought my BSB over here, and really my goal is, I'm certainly not going to charge that unit of Saurus. My goal is to try to keep him coming this way and then retreat back behind my infantry if I need to. So on my turn 2, let's see, our 3rd round of combat, I was finally able to kill the Steg, and I have his chief down to 1 wound. He, of course, has his Engine of the Gods right in the middle of 3 of my units, and he's going to do his blast spell on his turn, so I'm not looking forward to that. And you can see my Knights Errant wiped out his Pterodons and got into the Cold Ones. So on his turn, yeah, he didn't move his Stegodon. He wants to blast me. Otherwise, he just moves up. You can see he charged my Pegasus Knights, and I fled. I knew that would happen, and he turned his Spearmen, or Spear Lizards. Then the Engine of the Gods goes off and just blasts that unit, and that's what I get for cheating. Just blasts them. So, yeah, that's great. So they run away. Twice this game they've run away. And if you look up, my general took a wound, at least 1 wound, maybe 2 wounds from that same blast. So that thing was vicious. These guys do well. If you look at the die sitting there, that was his armor saves. So you figure I come in at strength 5. That means he probably had a 4-up armor save, and he rolls 2 1s. And yeah, and he ended up losing 3, so there was something else going on there. But that went very well for me, but they stuck around in combat. So Brett turn 3. Get my fast cav. I'm just moving them out of the way. I don't see them being able to help much, and I can see them just getting shot. So I'm just trying to conserve points. I'm going to go grab a table quarter with them. My general's on foot, so he was able to do a 360 charge. So he charges Stegodon, see if he can kill 2 of them this game. My Knights of the Realm rally, but you can see they're down to just 2 Knights and the Damsel. I go ahead and charges his Temple Guard. I think I can stick in combat there, and I just want to hold him up. And on the left, my Reliquew and my Questy Knights BSB all charge the Spearmen. I was really, really nervous about that because you got to kill a bunch of them. He just has so many attacks coming back. And if you look at the bottom, my Pegasus Knights rallied. So my general, on the first turn, does enough wounds to kill the Stegodon. So this general's killed 2 Stegodons this game. I need to model something on him for it. What a stud. Men-at-Arms hold, they only lost a guy. And if you look at the left, I wiped out the unit of Spear Lizards. Basically, I killed, I think he had 6 in a line. I killed his whole front rank. He had 2 attacks each from his back rank, and he couldn't kill any Knights, and he could only kill 2 of the Grail Reliquew. So he just really whiffed his attacks, and obviously I ran him down. So my opponent needs to just take his dice, throw them in the trash, and buy a whole new set. That was just absolutely awful. So there's another look at the board at the end of Brett turn 3. Lizardmen turn 4. He doesn't move much. He doesn't have much left to move. His 2 units are in combat. His Skinks move up to shoot at my general. He kills yet another Knight. General takes a wound from those Skinks. The Cold Ones break from combat. I don't know if they broke this turn or if they broke last turn and rallied this turn. I'm really not sure. These guys are just duking out. Really, really happy with how my Men-at-Arms are holding in there. Their job isn't to break anything. Their job is just to hold them up as long as they can. So thrilled with how that turned out. So here we are on my turn. My general, just on a whim, I knew I had the game at this point, so I took my general into the flank of that unit, which was just silly. He's down to 1 wound, and it was ridiculous, actually. You don't see my Knights of the Realm at the bottom. That's because there's only a Damsel and 1 Knight left, and I took her out of the unit and moved her near behind the woods, and he was left alone, and so I moved him pretty much right next to her, just to try to keep them alive and conserve half points, which, again, I don't think I actually have any points. In hindsight, I'm glad that unit wasn't able to do anything in the game because they should have been off first turn. So there's another look at the board. I'm just bringing everything on my left. I totally have both flanks completely under my control. We're on turn 4, and then they finally break my Men-at-Arms. And to be honest with you, I don't know if that's Brett turn 4. That could have been Lizardman turn 5. I don't know. We only went 5 rounds, and on my last turn I really didn't do anything because I had the game. It was our 3rd game of the day. We were tired. I had the win. I wasn't going to get any more points. It was obviously a victory. And even I think we went 5 rounds total, and we went overtime doing that. I had 3 games this day. All of them we had to get called early. I think I didn't go to turn 6 in any of my 3 games. So this one, it ended up being just a crushing victory. But again, he had a lot of points invested in Magic, and the Magic didn't do anything with the exception of wiping out that Knight of the Realm unit. So yeah, just miserable showing for the Lizardmen. Their dice just was awful. It's kind of why I don't take Magic heavy, because they always seem to fail me. But that was it. That's end of the game 3 for the tournament. I ended up with a win, a loss, and a draw, and I placed middle of the pack, maybe a little bit worse than that. So yeah, I love this list. I love playing with it. I need to get used to playing it better, because I've had more success with my other lists. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.